35th question. Question को देखो बेटा. From the following data for the year ending on 31st of December 2019, calculate inventory turnover ratio of the two items and put forward your comments on them. Opening stock guys is 10,000, purchases, closing stock. Same है बेटा, कुछ नहीं है. Compute inventory turnover ratio and compute inventory holding period guys for both the materials. If you're already done with it, shut your mouth. Parth. Thank you. Material A, material B guys. Opening stock plus the amount of purchases 52,000 beta and 27,000 minus closing stock 6,000 and 11,000. By doing this, you're going to get your raw materials consumed, which will be equal to 62,000 minus 6,000 beta 56,000, and here guys minus 225,000. Then you write average stock of raw material, which will be opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2, 8,000, and here guys it will be 9 plus 11 by 2, 10,000. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to your raw materials consumed divided by average stock of raw material. Raw materials consumed divided by average stock guys, so that'll be 56,000 divided by 8,000. हो गया स्नेहा तेरा. The next one beta is 25,000 divided by 10,000. For the first item beta it will be 7 times. For the second one beta it will be kitna 2.5 times. Based on this beta you're going to get your inventory holding period. And that beta would be 365 days divided by inventory turnover ratio. So that will be 365 divided by 7, 365 divided by 2.5. 365 divided by 7 कितना रहेगा guys? 52.14. That's 52 days. Material issue procedure. Material issue procedure. We're done with inventory control guys. There were 4 classifications or 4 methods that are under inventory control. The first one was by setting quantitative levels, under which we had reorder level, reorder quantity, maximum level, minimum level, average stock level and danger level. After that we did inventory control on the basis of relative classification. You had ABC, then there was FSN classification, VED, and finally beta HML. This was the classification guys. And then inventory control on the basis of ratio analysis. 2 ratios that we use, one is input output ratio, the other one is inventory turnover ratio. And finally beta inventory control using physical checks. Under that we have learned about 2-bin system, wherein you maintain 2 containers for the purpose of inventories. The larger container may say you will start making issues, the smaller container will be equal to the amount of reorder level. And then by establishing budgets guys, and then continuous stock taking. Are we clear? We're already done with valuation of material receipts also guys. When I say valuation of material receipts, what did we learn? Chirag? Spring loose हुआ क्या body में? Valuation of material receipt guys. Any expenditure that you incur better to bring the material to the present location and condition should be included in the cost of materials. Usme the first thing that we did was duties and taxes. duties and taxes only. No, ठीक है, whatever is the order, beta. I said any tax is such which is reimbursable. The credit of which is available, beta, should not be included in the cost of materials. By default, if they use the word GST, I said credit will be available, and that is why you are not supposed to include it in the cost of materials. If they use the word import duty, road tax, toll tax, it should be added to the cost of materials. And then discounts, rebates, if there's any amount of trade discount, beta, or quantity discount, or any amount of subsidy that you receive from the government, because it is related to purchasing activity, it should be reduced from the purchase price. If there's any amount of cash discount, guys, it should not be adjusted and will be directly transferred to P&L account. The third category, beta, was abnormal, penalties and fines. I said any amount of penalty or fine, beta, would be an abnormal expenditure, and that is why it should not be added to the cost of materials. यहाँ पे new word that we've learned about is demurrage. I said that is the amount of penalty that is paid for delay in loading and unloading. Last वाले में बेटा other expenses में we spoke about transportation cost or transit insurance or any amount of commission or brokerage. All of these are expenses directly attributable, and that is why they should be added to the cost of materials. Containers में it will depend on whether the containers are returnable or non-returnable. If the containers are returnable, it should not be added. If the containers are non-returnable, returnable है तो बेटा it should not be added, non-returnable है तो it should be added. Shortages में बेटा I said if it is normal shortage, it should be adjusted to the cost of remaining good units. If it is abnormal shortage, beta, it should be transferred to P&L account. We also spoke about stores ledger card and bin card, guys. Bin card is a card that is placed on the container in which the raw material is stored in the stores department. It will have details of the type of material, the amount of material receipts, and the amount of materials issued. And then stores ledger card is similar to bin card but maintained in क्या बोला पाटिल? Very good, beta. So bin card is maintained, guys, by the accounts department because we send raw material to two bin. One is sent to accounts department and one is in the stores department. अब भी बोला bin card store department में वापस तो वो वाला ना हाँ. Stores ledger card, guys, is maintained by the accounts department, which will have all the details that are there on a bin card apart from value of the materials. जो receipts column में बेटा you are going to write cost per unit. For that you should know what is the concept of valuation of materials. We are done with that. Now under issues column you will have to decide, guys, at what price are you going to issue the material. At what price is it to be included in the cost of the finished product. So for this you will have to understand material issue procedure and then pricing of material issues. Pricing of material issues का मतलब होता है not necessary that every material that you purchase should be at the same price. It's possible that the first purchase has been made at 10 rupees, the second purchase has been made at 10.5, third purchase at 11, fourth purchase at 12 rupees and so on. If all the materials are not being purchased at the same price, then how do we decide at what price should the materials be included in the cost of the finished product? So these are the two next things that we are learning. एक तो procedure है and दूसरा is methods for pricing of material issues. You have learned about this in CA Foundation already, but let's assume better that you did not do anything. So coming to material issue procedure, guys, the first note that you've already learned is MRN or a stores requisition note, material requisition note or a store requisition note. What is an MRN? It's a formal request made by the production department to the stores department for issue of materials. So it is against the MRN number only as such beta that entries will be made in the issues column. ठीक है? You will have to mention against which MRN was the material issued. That MRN will help us in tracing for which product was the raw material used. अगर वो MRN नहीं mention करते, we will not know at the end of the year or at the end of the month for which product was the specific quantity of material used. So that MRN will also have details about the product for which the raw material is being used. So any amount of material, guys, that is being issued has to be against MRN. And then beta there can be transfer of materials, for which we prepare something called as a material transfer note. Transfer of material, guys, is where let's say that you've transferred materials or you've issued materials to production department 1. Not necessary that there has to be only one department in the entire organization. Even manufacturing department is split into multiple divisions, multiple parts. And that material is not required by department 1, but it is required by department 2. They make an internal transfer from department 1 to department 2. You will have to prepare a material transfer note so that you have details and you know that the material, guys, though it was originally issued for one product, it was used for the manufacturing of some other product. So it should be included in the costing of that product. For us, when we are solving questions, material transfer note is irrelevant, because we are not going to prepare product wise cost sheet. We are preparing raw material wise stores ledger card. अगर एक डिपार्टमेंट से दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट जा रहा है, it is not going to affect the quantity of raw material that is lying with the stores. You have originally issued it against an MRN. All right. Now the material is getting transferred from one department to another department. The stores department is neither receiving the material, neither the stores department beta is issuing the material. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? In reality, as such, beta, they will pass two entries. They will record a receipt and immediately an issue, so that वहीं पे you have a record as to for which product is the raw material being used for. समझ में आ रहा है? But we are not going to record because we are not maintaining any product wise. They will give us details, beta, that materials were transferred from one job to another job or from one product to another product. You are simply supposed to ignore it. You are not supposed to consider it. Are we all clear about material transfer note? Then comes return of material. Vaishnav, you have a doubt, beta? Return of material. There are two types of returns. One is return of material to the supplier. The other beta is return of material from the production department to the stores department. If the material is being returned to the supplier, it should be recorded in the store's ledger card as an issue of material. Anything that increases the quantity of raw material at the stores will be a receipt. Anything that decreases the quantity of raw material at the stores will be an issue. If you are returning the raw material to the supplier, is it going to reduce the quantity of material? Yes. So you simply record that as issue. Okay. Once we finish material pricing methods, guys, I'll tell you it should be done at the same price at which the material was originally purchased, irrespective of the method that we are following. Whether I follow FIFO method, LIFO method, weighted average method, doesn't matter. If I bought the previous material, guys, at 5 rupees, it should also be returned at 5 rupees. Don't you think that I'm going to debit the supplier's account with 5 rupees only? If you purchased at 5 rupees, you know that a credit was given at 5. So if you're returning it, it should also be debited at 5 rupees. Are we clear about this? Then there can be materials as such beta that are returned by production department to the stores department. That will be a receipt for the stores department. The stores ledger card is being computed to know what is the quantity of material that is lying at the stores. Because it is going to be a receipt, you're going to record it under the receipt column. At what price will you record? Same price at which the material was originally issued. If it was issued at 11 rupees, you record it at. For the purpose of subsequent issues, it will be considered as a fresh purchase. You will have to go in the order. Just say, let's say beta that the material was purchased on 1st Jan. After that, you made 10 more purchases. And ये material issue हो चुका था. You get it back on 21st Jan. Now when you're subsequently issuing materials, beta, you cannot consider this to be a purchase of 1st Jan. It should be considered beta as if the material was purchased on 21st Jan only. So it is accounted as a fresh purchase in case the material is returned by production department to the stores department. Are we all understanding this, guys? Yes or no, beta? For return of material, guys, to the stores department, we prepare something called as a stores debit note or a shop credit note. The stores is receiving, you're going to debit stores. So that is why a stores debit note. The production department or the production shop, production floor is the one who's sending the material. So you're going to credit their account. That is why the name beta is shop credit note or a store debit note. This is for return of materials by production department to the stores department. When you're returning materials to the supplier, you can prepare a material return note. Or what we learn in accounts is such better is that we prepare a credit note and a debit note. वो normal है, but यहाँ पे we will simply write that we are preparing a material return note, stating the fact that the material has been returned to the supplier. Are we clear about this? So three things. One is issue of material by the stores to the production department, for which you prepare material requisition note. Then there is transfer of materials, guys, between the production departments, for which we'll prepare material transfer note. And then, guys, there is return of materials by stores to the supplier, for which we'll prepare a material return note. Or there is return of materials by production department to the stores, for which you will either prepare a store debit note or a... Are we all clear about this? Any doubt in this matter? वो हो जाएगा मतलब क्या? One thing that you have learned better in foundation is it doesn't matter which raw material is being used at the ground level. This is a pricing method. If I buy 10 materials and you know that the material is being consumed out of 20th Jan and not out of 1st Jan, if you are following FIFO method, the price at which it will be issued will still be the price of 1st Jan purchase and not 20th. Though in real life you might have used the material. So it has nothing to do about which material is being used first. It is just a pricing method. Are we clear, guys? You will not be identifying. It's like this, better. You go out as such, guys, to buy 3 notebooks. One shop had only 1 notebook, another shop had only 1 notebook, another shop had only 1 notebook. You buy one at 100, one at 120, one at 140. One was for you, 2 was for your friends. So you say the second notebook that you bought was for one friend, the third notebook what you bought was for another friend. तुम पहले तुम्हारे लिए खरीदे बोल के. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? So you cannot do all of those things better here. Now talking about pricing of material issues, guys, I just told you is a possibility better that all the purchases will be made at different prices. Let's say that you buy 100 units at 10 rupees, you buy another 200 units better at 11 rupees, you buy 300 units at 12 rupees. Now you are using this material to manufacture product A, product B, product C. For product A, guys, you need about 150 units. For product B, you need about 150 units. For product C, let's say you need 200 units. The question arises, what is the price that you are going to consider for the purpose of issuing the materials? Product A के लिए क्या cost consider करोगे? For product B, what are you going to consider? For product C, what are you going to consider? So, if let's say beta you like product A and you want the cost of product A to be lower, what will you do? You will say this 10 rupees wala material is being used for product A, and then remaining 50 units we used out of this 11 rupees. Let's say you do not like product B and you want the cost of that to be higher. What will you do? You will say that our entire 150 units will out of the purchase made at 12 rupees. That cannot happen in an organization. It is not about what you like, what you do not like. Correct, but Abhishek. So this is where there are pricing of material issues. There are methods to be followed. Once a method is implemented as such, better, the pricing of the material issues should be strictly as per that method. It cannot be randomly whatever you want. What you have learned earlier, or what I'll be explaining again, there's something called as specific identification method. I'm not using the word inventories, not ordinarily interchangeable. I'll use that word when I do AS2 inventories. अभी के लिए वो wordings relevant नहीं है, costing कर रहे हैं अपन. Specific identification method is used wherein you know that a specific raw material has been purchased only for a particular project. It has not been purchased better for multiple products. If a specific raw material has been purchased for a specific product, you can simply identify the cost of material. You do not have to worry about the pricing method. You will be able to identify which raw material as such better was used for that specific project. This is usually done when you undertake customized orders and there are separate procurements made for each order. So I gave an example. If you are a construction company and you have projects going on at 3 places, you place separate orders for cement for each order placed separately. The materials are directly delivered there. You do not have to worry about pricing method. You know which raw material is being used for which project. So that is where you will follow specific identification method. नाम बहुत clear है बेटा. You will have to identify the price at which the material was purchased. You are able to do that, and that is why you will include that specific price only in the cost of that project. Is that clear? The other one, guys, are something called as FIFO method, weighted average method, LIFO method. As per FIFO method, whatever has been purchased first is assumed to consume first. Whether or not you're consuming it at the ground level doesn't matter. For the purpose of recording it, whatever is being purchased first will be consumed. Let's say you manufacture product C first. अपने वो example में A, B, C. Product C needs how many units? So the materials have been issued for product C first, beta. Because you're consuming 200 units first, it will be out of 100 units at 10 rupees. The remaining 100 units will be at, this is first in, first out. Whatever is being purchased first is assumed to be consumed first. Are we understanding this? Then beta, if you use 150 units for product B, 100 units will be out of the 11 rupees purchase. 50 units will be out of the 12 rupees purchase. इसमें से 100 units बचे से थे बेटा, you're going to use them, and the remaining 50 units at 12 rupees. Then let's say beta that you are manufacturing product A for which you need 150 units. All of those 150 units will be at a price of 12 rupees. This is FIFO, first in, first out. Are we clear about this? LIFO method says whatever has been purchased recently is assumed to be consumed first. Last in, first out. Are we clear about this? So, same example, product C first, product B, product A beta. You know that you purchase 100 units at 10, 200 units at 11 rupees, 300 units at product C के लिए साथ बेटा how many units do we need? All of this 200 units will be out of the most recent purchase, that is at 12 rupees. Product B के लिए we need how many units? You will consume 100 units at 12 rupees, 50 units at 11 rupees. Product A के लिए you need all of those 150 will be at a price of, and you will have a closing stock of 100 units at 10 rupees. This is last in, first out, LIFO method. Are we clear about this? Then comes weighted average. Well, the bhad mein gaya, first in, first out, last in, first out. Let's take an average price. If you go and tell your friend, I bought my book at 100, your book at 120, and someone else's book at 140, he'll slap you and say, let's take an average price. So you'll write 100 units at 10,000 rupees, 200 units at 11, 2,000 rupees, 300 units at 12 rupees, 3,600, 6,800 divided by 600. My average cost per unit would be 6,800 rupees. Was the cost of how many units? 600 units, and that'll become 11 point. Irrespective of the product for which the raw material is being consumed, you are going to issue the materials at a price of 11.3333 only. Whether it is product A, whether it is product B, are you sun rahe? Whether it is product A or product B or product C, beta, all of them will be issued materials at a cost of 11.333. Your closing stock is also going to be at 11.333. The questions that you're going to have will either be based on FIFO method or weighted average method, guys. We are going to follow perpetual inventory system, meaning you will have to record the transaction as soon as the transaction occurs. In costing, we will not have periodical inventory system. When I do accounting standard in accounts, we will also talk about periodical inventory system. Are we all clear about this? Yes or no, beta? So on mein aa gaya ye pura. Now there are other methods. ये important थे बोल के पहले पढ़ाया. There are other methods also covered, guys. So under cost price methods, we have specific price method or specific identification method. समझ में आ गया वो? Yes or no, guys? First in, first out, last in, first out. Are we clear about that? Base stock method. Under base stock, there will be a certain amount of safety stock or base stock that you are maintaining at a fixed price. Leaving that, you will follow FIFO, LIFO weighted average for all the subsequent receipts and issues. तुम इसको include नहीं करोगे. Let's say the organization takes a policy of maintaining a safety stock of 100 units and the first 100 units are purchased at 10 rupees. You know that you're not going to consume out of this safety stock. So you will not include this 100 for the purpose of any of your pricing methods. Whether it is FIFO, LIFO, weighted average, तुम ये 100 units को include नहीं करोगे. Are we understanding this? So in case after this 100 units, you buy 200 units at 11 rupees, 300 units at 12 rupees, you follow your method, जो भी है, FIFO method, LIFO method or weighted average method, guys, for these purchases. If at all there comes a situation wherein you have to consume out of base stock, then you consume it. Whatever is the next purchase made, that will become the value of your base stock again. You're going to keep that constant, guys, and then again follow FIFO, LIFO for all the subsequent receipts and purchases. That is base stock method. सिर्फ theory के लिए है, कोई practical question नहीं है. Are we clear about that? Average price methods में बेटा I've already told you what is weighted average price, and then there is another useless method called as simple average price. Simple average price बोलता है ignore the quantities, take an average of only the prices. So we'll write 10 plus 11 plus 12 divided by 3 बेटा, that is 11. ये ब्रेकफास्ट में चिप्स खाए ना, इसके लिए भी कैलकुलेटर यूज करना पड़ता. ये इसके उतना ही करीब है जितना ये इसके करीब है, तो एवरेज यही रहेगा. समझ में आ रहा है गाइस? एवरेजिंग प्रिंसिपल बेटा. व्हेन यू हैव palm oil for breakfast, guys, whatever you've eaten, you should read the ingredients beta piche. So guys, pay attention. So under simple average, you're not going to issue at 11.3333, you're going to issue at 11 rupees. Correct beta Devansh? क्या प्राइस पे इशू करेगा? 11 rupees, guys. So if you're issuing at 11 rupees, it is mathematically incorrect, because let's say, guys, that you end up consuming all the 600 units. So you issue first 100 units beta at कितने थे वो? 200 units beta at 11, 150 also at 11, 150 also at 11. This is a product A, B and C. So this is 2000, 200, 1650 and 1650. So it is 3300 plus 2200, 5500. We know that we bought 600 units at a total cost of 6800. If you consume this beta 5500 में बचेंगे कितने अपने पास? 100 units, जिसका cost according to this beta will become, we purchased at 6800, we've allocated a cost of 5500, बचा कितना? That means the average cost per unit of these 100 units beta is now become, we never made a purchase only at 13 rupees. Did we ever make a purchase at 13? So simple average is mathematically incorrect, and that is why it is not followed. Are we clear about this? You will not follow, there will not be a question also, but we are not supposed to follow. एक तो बेटा ये, the chances of this coming in the examination is less, because there is an assumption, guys, that we have done all of this in the past. Good for them. Let them assume and reduce the number of questions that we have here. But then they assume better that kids have been doing this for a very long time. They know how to prepare a stores ledger card. I just said the chances are less. That does not mean we rule it out as better. You still have to do it. The ones who are aiming for 100 on 100, guys, there's nothing that you can leave. So coming back better here, the next methods are market price method, replacement price and realizable price method. Did I explain this ever? Yes. कहाँ पे? Yes. नहीं बेटा, अरे भाड़ में कॉस्टिंग में हो बेटा. मैं अभी कहाँ, तुम 4 महीने पहले की बात कर रहे हो यार. It is not good beta. If you try to recollect the concept that I taught you 4 months back, या 2 दिन पहले क्या पढ़ाया याद नहीं आ रहा बच्चों को, तुम 4 महीने पहले करे तो ऐसे डर लग जाता, फिर बादाम खरीदना पड़ता ब्रेक में. Yes guys, मजाक कर रहा हूँ बेटा. So replacement price method. तू बोल बेटा, prove me wrong. तू कितने पार्ट्स है तेरे में? Hint, I have explained it during these classes of costing only. कहीं तो पढ़ाया मैं, वो कॉस्ट प्राइस तू डिसाइड कर. हाँ, रिप्लेसमेंट कॉस्ट क्या है? एनीवन गाइस? कॉस्टिंग में जो पढ़ाया वो याद करके बोलो. I know that is called as replacement price. Very good. So I'm not asking you the meaning of the word replacement price, guys. I'm just telling you why did I discuss this. So under relevant and irrelevant cost, guys, I give you examples of wherein you purchase 10 books, and I give 2 cases. What if you do not need these books? What if you need these books but the market price of books have increased and your friend needs these books? You bought 10 books, you need them. You bought it at 100 rupees. You know that if you go and buy in the market, fresh purchases will be at, let's say, 130 rupees. Your friend is asking for a book out of those 10 books. How much should you charge him? 100 rupees that you already paid for it, or 130 rupees that you're going to incur because your friend is taking away this book? One, replacement cost method. Whenever a material is in regular use for the purpose of decision making, you should not consider the price at which the material was purchased. You should consider the price at which you are going to replace the stocks. You might be consuming material out of the existing stocks for that product, but you know because you're consuming the existing stocks, you will still have to end up paying a higher price to replace those inventory levels. I repeat better. Let's say that you have 100 units of raw material purchased at a price of 10 rupees. This 10 rupees is historical cost. We do not use market price methods, guys, for the purpose of regular accounting. This is only for decision making. The concept of relevant and irrelevant comes for decision making. You purchase 100 units of raw material at a price of 10 rupees. In case you sell this in the market today, realizable value is 8 rupees. In case you want to buy fresh stock to replace the quantities, your replacement cost beta is 11 rupees. If you want to buy fresh quantities, it will be at a price of 11 rupees. If you would want to sell off the existing quantities, you will get an amount of only 8 rupees. Are we clear about this? Now, you receive a new order for which this 100 units can be used. The cost to be included for you to take a decision, guys, will depend on what would you do with this 100 units otherwise. If this raw material is in regular use, even if you end up using this for this particular product, you will have to buy new units. You bought 10 books at 100 rupees, but if your friend is taking away those books, you will have to go out and shell out a price of 130. If your friend is paying you only 100, you are a fool, because you will have to pay how much? So for the purpose of decision making, you will not take a cost of 10 rupees, you will take a price of, that's replacement price method. Whenever a material is in regular use, you're supposed to use the replacement price for the purpose of decision making. What if these 100 units are just lying in the corner and they are not to be used? Non-moving items are here. So what is the only thing that you can do with those materials? Sell them in the market, scrap them at a price of 8 rupees. Now in case you receive a new order for which this raw materials can be used, you will not bother about recovering 10 rupees. You'll be like, even if I can recover 8 rupees, that is sufficient, because that's my opportunity cost. If I use those 100 units here, I will not be able to sell those 100 units in the market. If I cannot sell those 100 units in the market, I will not get 8 rupees per unit. So by using those raw materials here for the new product, you will try to recover at least 8 rupees per unit. So we use resale price method. Kya hai, naam kya hai? Resale price hai. We use realizable price method, guys. If You have stocks of raw material and they are not in use. You use replacement price method if you have stocks of raw material but they are regularly used. You have to consume them regularly. This is for decision making. We will have to learn about this again when I do relevant and irrelevant costing under marginal costing CVP analysis. Abhi ke liye it is given under pricing methods for us. So that is why, guys, we will have to learn the names of the methods. Are we clear about this? The last one, beta, is notional price method. Standard price method is basically in case an organization follows something called as standard costing. You know what is standard costing? Cost control में बोला था बेटा मैं that organizations, in order to ensure that the cost incurred is within a limit, they will fix standards, they will fix targets as such, guys, for everything, and they try to ensure that the actual cost incurred is within the target. So if an organization implements standard costing, there will be standard cost decided for each element of cost, including raw materials. Let's say that the organization fixes that you're supposed to buy raw material. Jain, say yes loudly. So let's say, just to make the people around you aware that I'm looking there. So let's say that you fix a standard cost beta of 10 rupees per unit. You actually buy the raw material at 12 rupees per unit. So if an organization follows standard costing, though the raw materials are being purchased at 12 rupees, they will be issued at 10 rupees on. For the purpose of cost, you will have to include a standard cost of only 10. But ये तो गलत हो जाएगा ना, sir. Don't worry, beta. We'll learn later. There's something called as material price variance. You will record this differential 2 rupees as a variance, so that you try to know what is the reason for that variance of 2 rupees. What resulted in a variance of 2 rupees? Is it because there was shortage of raw material in the market? Is it because our standards were not correct? Or is it because the purchase manager is useless at negotiations? Okay? There should be some reason for a deviation of 2 rupees. If the prices itself have increased, then there's no point in sticking to the original standard of 10 rupees. You revise the standard. Are we getting it, guys? So standard costing agar follow kar rahe hai, for every element there's going to be a standard cost. Raw materials will be recorded at those standard cost only. The difference between actual cost and standard cost will be recorded separately as variance. Are we clear? Alag variance aayenge, but just learn it as variance. Inflated price method. We already learned this. Why do we record it at an increased price? वो दिखता हो थोड़ा, हाँ. Inflationary situations. Incorrect, guys. In case there are normal losses expected, you will have to include the cost of that normal loss in the cost of the remaining good units. Are you not inflating the price of the remaining good units? Usko bolte hai inflated price method. This inflated price method is not a separate method, guys. It should be used along with FIFO method, LIFO method, weighted average method. Doesn't matter which method are you following. If you buy 100 units for us, out of which there's a normal loss of 5 units expected, for the purpose of accounting, you're going to record 95 units at an inflated price, rather than recording 100 units at the original price. Is that clear? समझ में आ रहा है? ये संधि विच्छेद कर रहे हैं. Reuse price method. बोल बेटा. संधि विच्छेद. जान दे, देख ले. हाँ. If there's any returns, perfect answer. If there are any returns as such, guys, from the production department, because the raw material, picture बेटा. Because तू सामने आ जा बेटा थोड़ा. देवांश, you can come and sit here otherwise. अच्छे से explain करूँगा. Scale है ना ready? हाँ. The two people, guys, who close their eyes for 2 seconds. No, sorry, this guy for 5 seconds. Can you name them, guys? Who are the two guys? Faraz and? How were you confident that it was Faraz? देख बेटा. तू आंख बंद नहीं कर रहा था. You were rolling your eyeballs better like that, and I thought there's something happening here. I should stop that before you start rising in the air, better. reuse price method, guys. So if a material is rejected, it is of a defective quality, then there is no point in considering the original cost of that raw material, because you know that you will not be fetching that original cost anyways. That is why you use a price adjusted downward as such better, the prices that you normally use for rejected materials. That is reuse price method. कोई भी word randomly अगर आ गया ना बेटा theory में, you should be able to explain the meaning of that. When they give methods like this as such, guys, they might give multiple methods, so you're supposed to explain them in only 1 or 2 lines each. It's not that you have to write stories on it. Are we clear? समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? So these are all the material methods. The first one, beta, I repeat, were cost methods. Under cost methods, here we have specific identification method. When do we use specific identification method? When materials are purchased, Veer, for a पंडित जी क्या बोले, आज पूरा दिन बात नहीं करेगा तो सुखी जीवन रहेगा, आगे लड़ाई नहीं होगी, तनाव कम रहेगा. हाँ, यस गाइस, मौन व्रत करने से अच्छा अपना बिहेवियर ही सुधार लो बेटा, तनाव नहीं रहेगा. बोल पे आगे क्या है, तो अभी पंडित जी के बारे में सोच रहा है. So specific identification method is where raw materials are purchased as such beta for a specific product. Are we clear? And then guys, we have FIFO method, LIFO method. FIFO is whatever is purchased first is assumed to be consumed first. LIFO method beta is whatever has been purchased recently is consumed to be is assumed to be consumed first. It's consumed to be assumed first. Nahi, huh? So next beta, base stock method. What is base stock method? There will be a certain amount of base stock or safety stock maintained at the original price, fixed price, guys, and then you will apply the method of FIFO, LIFO, weighted average, guys, to all the subsequent purchases. That is base stock method. Average pricing method में we have simple average method and weighted average price method. And then beta for decision making, that is market price methods बोल के वो जो बोलते हैं, but that is actually for decision making. You will have replacement price method and realizable price method. Replacement price is used when the raw materials are regularly used, and realizable price method is used better when the raw materials are not in use. So the only alternative use better is to dispose of the materials. And then notional price methods mein beta we have standard price, we have inflated price, and we have reuse price method. Are we clear about this? One small part beta last, and then we'll start writing. Valuations of returns and shortages. I already told you beta, if at all there's a material returned to the vendor, it should be it should be recorded as an issue of material. But the question is at what price? Doesn't matter whether you're following FIFO method, LIFO method, or weighted average method, you will have to record a material being returned to the supplier, guys, at the price at which the material, guys, was purchased. Are we clear about this? In case there is a material beta that is returned to the supplier, record it at the price at which the material was originally purchased. Any doubt in this? Abhi beta, one small aspect here. Let's say that I bought 100 units of raw material and there was a price of 10 rupees that I'm paying. Plus I incurred a transportation cost of 200 rupees. At what price am I going to record the material? 12 rupees, 1200. Yes or no, guys? Now I am returning the material to the supplier. When I'm returning the material to the supplier, I have to pay transportation cost out of my pocket. Let's say that I incur 150 rupees as transportation cost on the materials that are being returned to the suppliers. Correct, beta? How do I record? I am returning all the 100 units which I have purchased effectively at a price of 12 rupees, plus I'm incurring a transportation cost of 150 rupees when the materials are being returned to the supplier. So, Vedika, what do you think I should do with that 150 rupees? Beta? ये point covered तो यहाँ पे है, exam में आया cost sheet के question में. They can randomly pick up any point from the entire material as such, guys, anywhere, and turn that into a practical question in the examination. If you know the concepts right, it will be very easy. Just apply the logic, guys. Common sense. तू बोल रहा देवांश ऐड होता तो अपन जो इश्यूज कॉलम में है वी आर गोइंग टू रिकॉर्ड हाउ मच बेटा आई विल राइट रिसीट्स एंड इश्यूज बेटा देवांश सुन रहा है ना 100 12 1200 Devan says when you're returning it back I will write under issues column 100 units price whatever 1350 ठीक है there was no other purchase during the month no other issue during the month how are you going to balance this stores ledger card I'll write 0 units left at negative 150 correct Devansh पता नहीं कह रहे पता रहना चाहिए तू बोला ना 1350 तेरे आंसर के हिसाब से इफ देयर इज नो अदर परचेज नो अदर सेल शुडंट यू हैव अ क्लोजिंग बैलेंस ऑफ negative 150 रुपीज यस और नो श्रेष्ठ व्हाट्स योर ओपिनियन बेटा 1200 ही होगा सर वो तो कॉमन सेंस है इट कैन नॉट बी 1350 वरना ये टैली नहीं होगा I agree with your answer. It cannot be more than 1200. But I'm incurring 150 rupees. What do I do with that? Very good. It's transferred to something called as factory overheads. Instead of directly saying that we will include it in P&L account, it is considered as an indirect expenditure and included in the total amount of overheads. Please use common sense. If you record that 150 rupees here, your accounts are never going to tally. And if I have credited, when I buy beta creditors account mein, I'm going to credit 1200. Yes or no? When I'm returning the material as such, but I can only debit. I cannot debit 1350 here. If I debit 1350 as such, beta, you cannot expect the supplier to give me back that 150 rupees. Am I not incurring that 150 out of my pocket? समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? So that 150 rupees that you incur should not be included in the price. It will be transferred to factory overheads. From factory overheads better it will get absorbed or it will get transferred to P&L account. We will learn that in the third chapter, overheads chapter. Abhi ke liye just remember that it will not be included in the return price. Are we all clear about this? So when the materials are returned as such better, irrespective of the method followed, you're always supposed to record them at the price at which they were originally purchased. What if sir you receive replacement of material now? Once you है ना वो भी अपन को हाँ what if you receive replacement as such better it is recorded as a fresh receipt now at the same price at which it was originally purchased. I purchased materials originally beta 100 units at 12. I returned it. He gave me fresh stock of 100 units. We are not going to fix the price of those 100 units. It was just a return and is supposed to give me back either the amount as such better or is going to give me fresh material. The fresh material will be recorded at the same price at which it was originally purchased. Correct beta Varsha? If there are materials returned to stores, materials being returned to stores, matlab who's going to return it? Production department. So if the production department is returning the material to stores, it should be recorded as a receipt at the same price at which it was issued. Are we clear about this? And it should be considered as a fresh purchase. And if at all beta there are any shortages that are found, the entry for that will depend on whether it is normal or abnormal. If it is normal, you will have to inflate the price of the remaining units. And if it is abnormal as such beta, you will transfer the loss to P&L account. Are we all clear about this? Chalo the 39th question, guys. AT Limited if there was a mention of a higher number of purchases with an increasing price, would we consider LIFO? It will again depend on price fluctuations, guys. 10 rupees becoming 11 rupees as such beta, you can definitely say that there's an inflationary trend. 1 rupee becoming 2 rupees is not an inflationary trend. It would mean prices are volatile. So if they give multiple prices and the prices are moving up and down, then it is weighted average method. But if the prices are continuously increasing, then yes, definitely LIFO method. Are we clear about this? Next beta. AT Limited furnishes the following store transactions for September 1982. Ignore the year. 1st September, opening balance is 25 units valued at 162.5. That will not be value per, sorry, that will not be value per unit, but that's a total value of 25 units. You will divide that by 25 to get your cost per unit. 6.5. Issues requisition number 85. We have all learned about material requisition note. It's a formal request made by the production department to the stores department for issue of materials. Last sentence dekh lena beta, it says that we are following FIFO method. So this 8 units guys will be issued out of those 25. Next, receipts from BNCO GRN number. GRN is goods received note. You will prepare this at the factory gate guys whenever inventories are being received. Are we clear? Next beta. Issues against requisition number 97, returns to BNCO. Whenever material is returned to a supplier, we prepare an outward return note guys, and the material should be issued, so written in the issued column beta at the same price at which the materials were originally purchased. Good. Issues against requisition number 108, requisition number 110. Receipts from MNCO GRN number 33. Issues requisition number 121. Received replacement from BNCO. It should be considered as such beta fresh purchase, but at the same price at which the material was originally purchased. जो price में खरीदे, but in the order as such beta it should be considered as a fresh purchase. Return from department material of MNCO. It will be considered as a receipt. Should be accounted as a fresh purchase, but it will be recorded at the same price at which the material was originally issued. ऊपर दिख रहा है बेटा receipts from MNCO. The material might have been issued. They don't need it. They're giving it back to us. Who's giving it back to us? Production department is giving it back to stores department. What do you prepare for this? Store debit note or a shop credit note. Good beta. Transfer from job 182 to job 187. Material transfer note bana ke beta, they're transferring material. Will not be included anywhere in the store's ledger card. We are not doing it job wise guys. Real life mein they will include it so that the cost is included in the correct job. But अपन job wise nahi kar rahe. We are preparing a consolidated stores ledger card, so this will not come. It is not affecting the inventory lying at the stores. It is not increasing it, nor is it decreasing it. Issues requisition number normal. Transfer from department A to department B. Material transfer note. Huh? Not recorded. Obviously, but same thing, no? Whether it is from one job to another job or from one department to another department, what difference will it make? Will it increase or decrease the inventory lying at stores? It is not going to affect the amount of inventory lying at stores. So it will not be written anywhere. Shortages in stock taking better. What will you do? It will be written in the issues column. Are they going to transfer that to P&L account or they will include it in production overheads? None of our business. Okay guys. In one question they said beta shortages will be included in overheads. That does not mean everywhere beta shortages should be included in overheads. If it's an abnormal loss, it is directly transferred to P&L account. It will not be included in the amount of overheads also. Alright guys, let's start preparing the stores ledger card. I will give all the notes after we finish this. Opening balance, you'll directly write under the balance column better. We have 25 units valued at 6.5 each, the total cost of which is 162.5. On 4th September, we have issues under material requisition number 85. We are issuing 8 units because there's only one balance prior to this. FIFO, LIFO or weighted average does not make any difference. Everything will be at the same price. 8 units issued at 6.5 beta, this will become 52 rupees. The leftover number of units are 17 at 6.5, which will be valued at 52, matlab 110.5. After the opening balance guys of 25 units and you issuing 8 units, you will have a leftover balance of 17 units. Next on 6th of September beta, receipts. There's a few vehicle numbers sent in the group who are supposed to change their parking. Some 5274 electric vehicle, white color. 9582 and 7397. Supposed to change your parking now. तुम लोग बाद में मेरे से मिलना बेटा, अमित और तुम वेद. Next beta, receipts 50 at 5.75. The total value guys will become 287.5. Because it is FIFO method, you're supposed to write them separately under the balance column. 17 units will be at 6.5, 50 units at 5.75. This is 110.5, this is 287.5. After that guys, on 7th of September, we are issuing materials against MRN number 97. This 12 units will be out of the opening balance of 17 units. So you're going to write 12 units at 6.5. This 12 units into 6.5 will become 75. 12 into 6, 78. You will have 5 units left of 6.5, but that will be 32.5. 50 units, 5.75, 287.5. After 12 units are issued, you will still have 5 units left purchased at a price of 6.5 rupees. After that, beta, 10th September, returns to B and Co. Returns to B and Co guys should be at the same price at which it was purchased. You cannot follow FIFO method here. How many units are we returning? 10. So this 10 units will be at what price? 5.75. Do not record 5 at 6.5 and 5 at 5.75. You will directly write 10 at 5.75. That will become 57.5. 57.5. And after that, beta, you will have 5 units purchased at 6.5, 32.5, 40 units purchased at 5.75, whose value will be 230. Returns to B and Co should be at the same price at which the materials were originally purchased. Next, beta, 12th of September. Issues against requisition number 108. So, we are issuing how many units? 15 units. The first 5 units will be at a price of 6.5. The next 10 units will be at a price of 5.75. Collectively, the total cost of materials that is being issued, guys, would be 90 rupees. You will have 30 units at 5.75, guys. 30, 50 is 172.5. After the issue made on 12th of September, you will have 30 units valued at 5.75 each. कैफ हो गया पूरा? कितना है क्लोजिंग स्टॉक? टोटल वैल्यू 18.5. वैल्यू बोल रहा है, गलत है बेटा, वापस चेक कर पूरा. Next guys, on 13th of September 82, again there are issues. Material requisition number 110. 20 units at 5.75 guys. So 20 at 5.75, this will become 115. You will have 10 units left at 5.75, the price of which or the value of which will be 57.5. This is for 13th September. After this, beta, 15 September receipts from MN Co. GRN number 33. 25 units at 6.1, 25 into 6 beta 150, 152.5. So you will have 10 units at 5.75, you will have 25 units at 6.1. This will be 57.5, this will be 152.5. This is 15 September beta. सबका हो गया यहां तक? How many of you done with the entire question? कितना है once closing stock? 106 point. How much did you get? You're getting until what it is that you got. Adi chappu. Yes, kids. शालनी हो गया तेरा? कितना है देखो? 130. We'll take an average of everything, but a huge volatility, no? All the answers, I mean. You got 167.3. 7 is 7 in British. I thought it was 7 only there also. This is 7 only in UK also, not 7. Alright guys. Issues with a material requisition number 121. How many units? 10 units. This 10 units will be at a price of 5.75, 57.5. After this you will have 25 units at 6.5. The value guys is 152.5. After 17 guys, 19th of September, received replacement from B&Co guys. B&Co से जो material आया है, it should be recorded at the price at which it was originally purchased. These materials were originally purchased at 5.75, but this will be accounted as a fresh purchase. So you're going to write 25 units at 6.1, 152.5, and 10 units at 5.75, 57.5. Are we clear? Next beta. th September, returns from department guys of MN.Co. Now the material of MN.Co guys was never issued in this month, but the question still says that the material is being returned. All of you pay attention guys. The material that was purchased on 15th of September is still lying in stock. It was never issued. 25 units. This is the material of MN.Co. On 20th September, the question says that material of MN.Co is being returned from production department. Obviously, it is not out of the current month purchases. You will have to assume that the material was issued sometime back in the previous months, and the material was purchased at the same price. That is 6.1. I'll give that assumption, but you will have to assume that in the earlier months also we have purchased materials from MN.Co at a price of 6.1 only. So this 4, kitna units hai ye? Sorry, 5. We are going to write 5 units as a receipt at 6.1, the value of which will be 30.5. So in the order you will write 25 at 6.1, 10 at 5.75. This should be recorded as a receipt, not as an issue. We are getting back the material in production stores department. कैफ गया यहाँ पे, इसको इशू बोल के लिखा. Are we clear about this? Shalini, you got it right? मनन हो गया तेरा भी. कितना है क्लोजिंग स्टॉक? 167.3 बेटा. 22nd September will not come anywhere guys. I said transfers between two jobs or transfer from one department to another department will not appear, guys, anywhere. 26 September. Huh? क्यों? जब तो संगीत में नाच रही थी ना, then I've explained in the class that it should be accounted as a fresh purchase. Guys, any material that you're receiving back from the supplier, guys, or you're receiving it back from the production department to the stores department, it should be accounted as a fresh purchase. Issues, guys, 10 units. This 10 units will be at a price of 6.161. So you will have 15 units at 6.1 beta, which will be 15,691.5. 10 units at 5.75. 5 units at 6.1. And finally on 30th September beta, there's a shortage. Kitne units ka shortage hai? 2 units. This also will be at 6.1, so that will be 12.2. So you'll have 13 units at 6.1. That will become how much? 79.3. 10 units at 5.75, 57.5. 5 units at 6.1, 30.5. What's the total value of closing stock? 167.3. Total number of units are 28. So you will have 28 units valued at 167.3. Embryos India is recently incorporated startup company back in the year 2019. It is engaged in creating embedded products and Internet of Things solutions for the industrial market. It is focused on innovation, design, research and development of products and services. One of its embedded products is LogMax, a system on module carrier board for industrial use. It is a small, flexible and embedded computer designed as per industry specifications. Yahan tak pura bhashan bakwas. Now, in the beginning of the month of September 2021, company has entered into a job agreement providing 4,800 LogMax to NIT Mandi. Following details with respect to issues, receipts, returns of stores department handling microcontroller or component used in the designated assembly process have been extracted. So all of these details are for your raw material microcontroller. First, we have an opening stock of 6,000 units at 285 rupees per unit. We have issued 4,875 units to mechanical division, wide requisition number. We have received 17,500 units against purchase order number. We have issued 12,000 units. 2,375 units were returned to stores by technical division. We have received 9,000 units. We have returned 700 units to supplier. We have issued 9,500 units to technical division. On 25th September 2021, the stock manager of the company expressed his need to leave for his hometown due to certain contingency and immediately left the job same day. Later, he also switched his phone off. As the company has a tendency of stock taking every end of the month to check and report for the loss due to rusting of components, the new stock manager on 30th September found that 900 units of microcontrollers were missing, which was apparently misappropriated by the former stock manager. Chori hui hai beta. What will you do with this? Abnormal loss. As far as stores ledger card is concerned, beta, you're supposed to present it under the issues column. He further reported a loss of 300 units due to the rusting of the components. Normal loss. You will write it under the amount column as 0 rupees, but you will still reduce 300 units so that you automatically inflate the price of the remaining good units. I've also given a note for this. You are required to present the store's ledger card using weighted average method of valuing the issues. Every time a purchase is made, you're supposed to compute your weighted average price. Are we clear about this? Kitna hai closing balance, Manan? 19,37,000. British. 6,000 units, guys, at 285 beta. Online student says it's 19,46,112. So kitna 1946? 37. तो पहले बेटा ये 6,000 units multiplied by 285, 17 lakhs, 10,000 rupees. On 8th of September, guys, there are materials being issued against requisition number MRN 009/20, guys. Because there's only one purchase prior to that, or there's only one balance, everything will be at the same price. 4875 units at 285. बेटा कितना हो जाएगा वो? 13 lakhs. 13,89,375. You will have 1125 units left at a purchase at a price of 285. 1710. So यहाँ पे बच जाएगा 3,20,625. This will be the balance, guys, out after the first issue. क्या मंजरी हो गया तेरा पूरा? 2 ट्रांसैक्शन बाकी है. गणेश అయిపోయిందా? నీది ఇంకా లక్స్ బ్రేకప్ అయిందా? మధ్యలో బ్యాగ్ వచ్చింది ఇంకా. హీస్ గెటింగ్ క్లోజర్ టు హిమ్ అంటే జస్ట్ నథింగ్ నో అంతే. సో దేర్ ఇస్ నో ఇన్సెక్యూరిటీ హియర్ నో. क्या बोल रहा है यार ये? यस गाइस, 9 सितंबर बेटा purchases made PO 159/2020, 17,500 units at 276 rupees. कितना हो गया बेटा ये? 48 lakhs 30,000. So the 1125 units, guys, are 280. Sorry, add up the entire amount. I know better. 18,625 units, guys, is what we have. You will add 3,20,000 and 48 lakhs. So that'll become 50,625. Divide them, guys, and then write the average cost per unit. You will have to divide 51,50,625 by 18,625 units. How much will that be? 54. Our average cost per unit should be 276.54. That is weighted average method. You're supposed to add all the purchases divided by the total amount of units left. क्या फराज रॉन्ग आंसर आया मेरे को? अच्छा नहीं, तो गुस्से में देख रहा था स्क्रीन को. 276.54, guys, will be the average cost per unit. Did you all get this? Yes or no, beta? Next, guys, 10th of September, you have materials issued. These issues are against the purchase order number tag 012/20. You will have to issue, guys, how many units? 12,000 units at an average cost of how much? 276.54. How much will be 12,000 into 276.54? 33 lakhs. 18,000. मार खाएगा तू. So 51 lakhs 50,625 minus 33 lakhs 18,480. 140. Now, guys, when you divide them, the average cost per unit might change by a paise. That is only because of that rounding of error. How much is that? ये कितना था? 4,500. 18,32,000. बोल बेटा दो तनिष. 145. तो एवरेज कॉस्ट पर यूनिट कितना है? 55 हुआ ना. Actually, it should not change, guys, but because of that rounding of error, we're getting a difference of 1 paise. We will have to ensure that the amount column matches. That is why, guys, you will write weighted average cost per unit as 276.55. Are we clear about this? Next, but after 10 September, return to stores, 12 September. These returns, guys, are from production department. So this will be recorded under receipts. They should be recorded at the same price at which they were originally issued. कब issue कर रहे थे? पिछले वाला ये ना ये खेल ले रहे घरे. Returns to stores, guys. So this, how many units? 2,375 units. They should be recorded at 276.54. The price at which they were originally issued. How much is 2,375 into 276.54? 656, 783. 2375 plus 6. मार खाएंगा. 9,000 units. Add that to amount column beta. 18 and 6 lakhs will become 24 lakhs. 88,928. Divide them guys by 9,000 units and write the price per unit. 276.54 आ गया वापस. 276.54 guys. Units beta. 160/2020. How many units? 9,000 units purchased at 288. How much will this be beta? 25,92,000. You will add 9,000 and 9,000 beta. You will have 18,000 units. You will add 24,88,000 and 25,92,000. That will become 50,80,928. Divide 50,80,928 by 18,000 units and then write the average cost per unit. 282.27. आया करेक्ट आया ये? नको बोलो बेटा, यस बोलो. ठीक है बेटा ईशा. 282 guys, 0.27. अब क्या हुआ रे सनराइजर्स को? ऊपर वाले में 276.54 आया. कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता बेटा, आगे बढ़. छोटी चीजों पे ध्यान मत दे. आफ्टर 15 सितंबर बेटा 17 सितंबर. ये ऊपर वाला ही रिटर्न कर रहा वापस. ये लोग मस्ती कर रहे थे भाई. सेवनटीन सितंबर बेटा returns. How many units are we returning? They should be returned at the same price at which they were purchased. 700 units at 288 guys. How much will that be? 2 lakh 1,600. क्या मंजरी नहीं कर रही तू आज? हो गया. 17,300 units. Amount column से बेटा वो 2 lakh 1,000 हटाओ. It will become 48 lakhs 328. Divide them guys and write the cost per unit. 282.04. क्वेश्चन के लिए यस बोल रहा, तू मालूम है ना. नेक्स्ट गाइस, ऑन 20th September we have issued issues guys against acquisition number 165/20. How many units? 9,500. It will be issued at a price of 282.04. 9,500 into 282.04. How much is that? 26 lakhs 380. बचे हुए यूनिट्स बेटा 507,800. लेफ्ट ओवर अमाउंट 21,99,948. एवरेज कॉस्ट शुड बी सेम, बट कुछ आ रहा है अप्रोक्सीमेशन एरर. नहीं. There's a shortage as साथ बेटा theft of material. How many units guys? 900 units. This shortage will be recorded at 282.04. All four of you sit in separate benches from tomorrow beta. So 900 at 282.04. What will be the amount guys? 2,73,000. एक जना बोलो ना यार, यहाँ पे तुम लोग आगे बैठे से तो कुछ तो बोलो. खदो अरे 253. So after this beta I will have 6,900 units. Total amount column 19,46,000. 0 112 guys. How much will be the average cost per unit? Same 282.05. Now 30th September beta normal loss. Normal loss के लिए बेटा, rusting of components is normal loss. You will write 300 units. Do not write anything in the unit column or in the per unit column or in the amount column. So it will become 6,600 valued at 19,46,112. Correct, but online students. So what will be your average cost per unit? 294.87. This is where we are adjusting the cost of normal loss better to the cost of the remaining good units. Types of material losses better, they've given us about wastage or waste. Then there is scrap, we have spoilage and defectives. Iske alawa we also have obsolescence. Anyways, these are the different types of material losses. Common theory question that may come. Matlab, materials chapter se beta theory question can come in the examination. So when you talk about wastage as such beta, what do you understand by it? By तब यूज करते तब वेस्ट हो जाता. एक सेकेंड जरा. हाँ भाई बोल, कंटिन्यू. सॉरी. वो चले जाता. हाँ, थोड़ा वेस्टेज में चले जाता. दैट इज स्क्रैप बेटा. There's a minor difference between scrap and wastage, but then हाँ, जो तो अभी starting का description was perfect, but आगे आते आते example में तो you started giving an example of scrap. He said anything that is normally lost in the production process is termed as wastage. Then he gave an example of paper cuttings that should be considered as wastage. Usually as such beta wastage will not have any value. Scrap as such beta are the trimmings or the cuttings that arise in the production process. The many metal products or other products that need a particular shape, in order to give that shape as such beta, obviously there will be certain trimmings done. जो भी उसमें से निकल रहा है बेटा loss of material, that will be termed as scrap, and that scrap usually has a recoverable value. You're going to sell it and realize some value against it. Wastage on the other side as such beta is something that arises either during storage, more specifically it is arising during the production process. Jaise beta when you buy gold as such beta, they will levy something called as wastage. If they're using a kilo gold as such beta, there can be a wastage of 2-3%. That means the entire gold as such beta will not be used in the end product. वो बाकी का gold कहाँ जा रहा है as such beta? It can be in the form of fine dust or powder as such beta that is coming off against it. Jewelers try to recover that also better. One very weird example that I've seen is one of a very big manufacturing entity, guys. They have toilet also, guys, filtration process, because a lot of employees end up inhaling that gold dust. The human body excretes it in the process and they try to recover that gold content. The amount is so huge as such beta, nahi. Bloody hell. If you ever become the CEO of that company beta, वो company 2 दिन में बंद हो जाएगी. I will not do all of these things बोल के. क्या पागल हो क्या यार तुम लोग? But understand the difference between wastage and scrap. Both of them are material losses. Scraps will be in the form of cuttings that will usually have some value. In rare cases beta, scrap may not have any value. Usually metal components will have a considerable amount of value, and people do incorporate this while arriving at the product cost. So there's one small product that is made for a fan. That product cost is 22 rupees. After they deduct scrap realization, it comes to 20.5. Matlab the scrap that is generated out of the manufacturing process will have an approximate value of 1.5 rupees. The product is sold at 22.5 only. Matlab 21.5. Though their full cost is 22 rupees, it is sold at 21.5. They're not incurring any loss because they also realize amount by selling the scrap. So scrap will be in the form of those cuttings. Wastage beta will be in the form of material that is normally evaporated, or it is in the form of fine dust that may or may not have a value. Usually it will not have any value, or it cannot be recovered usually. That's the difference between wastage and... Are you all understanding this? समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? It's like you input a raw material. He gave an example of you inputting a raw material of 1 kg, but in the end product, the weight of the material is say let's say is only 950 grams. Baki ka 50 grams material ka hai, we do not have it. If you have that 50 grams of material guys with you, then it will become scrap. If you do not have that 50 grams of material with you, then it is wastage. Wastage can be normal, can be abnormal. Any form of material losses beta can be normal or abnormal. Are we all clear about the basic difference between the word wastage and scrap guys? Next, coming to spoilage and defectives. What's guys? Any material guys that cannot be rectified is called as spoilage. Any material that can be rectified beta is called as a defective. That's the basic difference. Spoil. Correct hai beta to. Guys has answered it perfectly right as such guys, but they're not. See guys, problem नहीं है बेटा तालियां मारने में. क्या है मालूम है? जो लोग शुरू कर रहे ना आगे, वो लोग पढ़ रहे. थोड़े बच्चे सिर्फ तालियां मार के चले जा रहे घर. क्या पढ़े आज पूरे दिन में? सर ऐसे तालियां सिखाए बोल के घर जाके लिख के आते. थोड़े बच्चों को आइडिया ही नहीं है क्या पढ़ रहे बोल के, सिर्फ तालियां मार के जाते. थोड़े बच्चे 20 पेज एम्प्टी छोड़ के एक पेज लिख रहे, 20 पेज एम्प्टी छोड़ के एक पेज लिख रहे, विद दिस होप दैट सम डे दे विल राइट. नहीं बेटा तेरी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ नेत्रा. क्या हुआ, तुम दोनों क्यों लेट रहे हो अभी? Are we all clear about this? So spoilage and defectives are the basic difference. Anything that cannot be rectified as such beta will be called as spoilage. There's absolutely no way of you selling it in the form of a standard finished product by rectifying it. Defectives as such guys are those that do not meet a certain criteria. They can still be sold in the market as such beta, but not at the standard selling price. You either rework on those defectives or you sell them as at a lower price. Let's say beta you'll see certain clearances as such guys of bigger organizations wherein they sell those products at a substantially lower price only because there can be some minor defect as such beta coming in the product, which they know they cannot rework on it, but then they still know that it can be sold at a substantial price. They need not be sold at as scrap. Spoilage agar ho gaya beta, it has to be sold as scrap. Matlab whatever is the weight component in that, that is the one that is going to fetch value. Are we all clear about this? Yes or no? Likho guys. Fifth one, obsolescence. Here normal hai beta, we have been using this word. What is obsolescence loss? Any material beta that is no longer required. It can either be that because the product for which the raw material was purchased as such beta is no longer in demand, or the raw material itself as such beta has been replaced by a better version available in the market, that you do not need the existing materials. Are we clear guys? Last में consumption of materials बोल के और एक है बेटा, but then I've already covered. Consumption of materials कैसे record करोगे? Same material issue procedure. If you would want to know what is the cost of materials guys in relation to a specific product, how will you arrive at it? एक particular product के लिए total material कितना use हुआ है? How will you arrive at it? You look at all the material acquisition notes. You will automatically know what is the amount of raw material that is used for a specific product. With material acquisition note, you might also want to use material transfer note and material return note. Sometimes the materials might get transferred from one job to an other job, or the materials might get returned guys from production department to the. That is how you arrive at material cost guys. The whole objective यहाँ पे guys is to know how material cost should be related to the end product. And for that, you should know what is MRN, material transfer note, material return note. Are we all clear about this? Yes or no, guys? Chalo beta. That's the end of this chapter. We'll take an early break today because I want to finish FM ka chapter as well. ये कल शुरू करेंगे नया chapter. You have a break, guys. Now I'll continue after the break. Online students, end of the session. Bye bye.